And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at one of the expansions for Dominations, Silk Road. So there are 4 expansions for Dominations, and I really love this game, a civilization building game. And so I'm going to be taking a look at all 4 expansions, and I'm reviewing them actually in order of my liking of them, the least to the most. I think they're all fine. I don't think there's any of them that is bad. But Silk Road is the one that I personally like the least of the 4 different ones, but it's still not a bad one. Let me show you what it adds to the base game of Dominations. So what Silk Road does is it adds trading routes. That's the main thing that this adds here. And so as the game progresses, you'll be building cities like you normally do. But you can also, besides building a city or building a monument, besides doing that, you can still do that. You can also build a trade route. A trade route is going to cost 3 of the color of the city you're putting the trade route around. And you'll put the trade route so that the ends of it are on 2 of the sides of the triangles. You're then going to score points for that trade route, and the points that you score are equal to the number of trade routes it's connected to in total, so that would be 1 point. And so if you place a city here and I build another trade route, this trade route would now score me 2 points. So the longer a trade route gets, the more points that it's worth. And that's even if it's someone else's city. So even if a third one's put here with a black city, that'd be 3 points for black, even though it's connecting to my cities. There's also a new wonder of the world that you can play with, the Grand Bazaar here. This has to be included with an existing trade route because you can see, actually that trade route has to be built underneath this stuff, so these pieces would go here like this. So it's a double trade route that's being placed out there. Also, it has wilds on it. And a lot of the different cards for the Grand Bazaar will give you stuff, but then everyone else gets something. Here, like the first one, you get 3 resources, everyone else gets 2. Here, you get 5, everyone else gets 3. And I can spend up for 1 from each domain, and I get one of these for each knowledge spent. So that's pretty cool. It's a cool wonder of the world, and you can choose that you're going to play with it. So that's pretty much, that's all that's in here, with the exception of there are 6 new technologies that are for this with their upgrades. So we have the caravanserai. Whenever you build a trade route, get a resource. So that's worth getting if you're going to get into building the trade routes. The road network. Whenever you build a trade route, you get a knowledge. Here, milestones. This gives you 1 free trade route, gives you another 2 when you upgrade that. And these other ones here, you get more when you build the trade routes, etc. The artistic residences. Cities that are part of a trade route cost you 2 less to upgrade. That's a pretty cool ability here. If you're going to upgrade cities, you might build trade routes. I mean, it costs the same amount in general, but you'll get more points. Pilgrimages, you can build trade routes on your purple cities for free. This is kind of a weird one. This one, because it's only on 1 color, and I did this and then I didn't get many purple cities over the course of the game. And then trade routes cost you 1 less to build, or 2 less to build as time goes by. So these technologies do not work at all and are worth nothing unless you are using the trade routes. But that's pretty much it. This expansion also comes with a few other pieces that are extra pieces for the other expansions, and I'll just explain that in the other expansions how those parts work. But they basically put trade routes as something that can happen with the other things. So the box comes with these stickers you put on here. You put all your trade routes here. You put your mastery cards here, your monument cards here. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of room in the base box to put everything. It does come with yet another card for everybody to look at that shows you the basic and upgrade it for all the special abilities that are there. And yet, once again, you have to take a monument apart to to be able to store it in here. But it's not too bad. Everything fits in well enough. And there you go. This one is one of the easiest ones to add add to the game. You know, when I add it in and teach it, it's just one more thing. Hey, you can build a trade route. Now, the trade routes are interesting, and you can score a lot of points from them because it's kind of a building a triangle scoring. The first one's 1, the next one's 2, the next one's 3, the next one's 4. And you score all those points. When you build the fourth one, you've scored 10 points thus far. And if you let one person just trade route it up and do that whatever they want with the trade routes, they can get a good amount of points that way. So on that end, I like it. But it feels, I guess my negative part is it just feels a bit tacked on. Yes, I can build trade routes, but you're not actually trading with them. It's just another way to score points. Yes, you can connect trade routes to other people's trade routes, which is kind of cool, and it gives you another place to put them. And yes, there are now 6 new technologies, so yay, more technologies, which is something I certainly like. But it's just another thing. It's another thing to add for setup. It's another rule, and I don't know that it offers any kind of depth to the game at all. So again, it's fine. The trade routes are interesting. I like them. But if I'm going to play with the expansions, this might be one I cut. Now, I will mention this, that some people thought this was their favorite of the expansions. So it wasn't like a joint decision with everyone that I played with. Some people liked the Silk Road and said that they liked that aspect and it was something they could focus on. So I get that, and that's in the thing too. The new monument's cool too. I will say that you might be slightly annoyed that there's a good chunk of pieces in this one that you can use Silk Road with the other 3 expansions. If you're playing the expansions in order, this would be the last one I would tell you to add for that reason. Because you get this and you're like, what's this token for? Oh, that's for dynasties. Oh, what's this for? Oh, that's for provinces. So there you go. Dominations Silk Road. One that I don't know that I would get and purchase, but one that a few people might like. Dice Tower Judgment, interesting, but not essential.